What's going on, y'all? It's Jason More Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you can guys see in the title here, bringing you another installment of the Golden Year series, my personal favorite series, where we go over some of the best individual years or best runs in battle rappers' careers. We go over battlers' primes, really break down what years were these greats, when were they the greatest at. And one of the more famous ones I've talked to for a few friends that wanted me to do this for a while, I am doing Tay Roc's 2015. Now, there is a much bigger run at hand here when you talk about the whole face of URL run, starting really back from around 2013 up until, 2016, 2017, in my opinion. And one day I do hope to expand and do a full version of that. But just for the sake of COTY season coming around, this is one of those years where I really feel like if COTY existed, Tay Roc would have 100% taken it. And kind of what's cool is we're going to go over this video, and we're also going to kind of make that case retrospectively. What does he have here by COTY criteria, and why I think he would have for sure been a lock for the award in 2015. So, for those that haven't been here, the usual structure, we're going to start with a little bit of background where he was heading into the run. We're going to go over each battle in the run in depth, and then we're going to talk about, where that left him and what it did for his legacy at the end. But without further ado, let's look at pre-2015. So, 2014 region, what type of momentum was Tay Roc coming into the year with? So, coming into 2015, as I said, there is a bigger run at hand here. I just think 2015 is the best example that I wanted to go over. But in 2014 specifically, Tay Roc, after fighting his way back from the Clips loss all the way back in 2009, had faced names such as YK, Cortez, B Magic, and even coming into this year, he was really showing how great he was in 2014, having clear wins, iconic wins at that, over Ill Will, JC. Him and Clips is debatable, the rematch, but that is a classic, one of the better battles in battle rap history. And then a clear win, body bag at the time. I think it's aged a little bit outside of that, but then a clear win over DNA, multiple SM appearances throughout here. And it just goes to show that Tay Roc was destined to kind of, have a big 2015 after this huge statement year where, Clips was pretty amazing. So retrospectively, I don't know how that would chop out in 2014, him or Clips. But point is that he was coming into the year with a plethora of high-profile wins over top tiers. And then this would lead to Gnome 5, which would be his third Gnome appearance up to this point, where Tay Roc would have one of his biggest challenges yet to kick off 2015. And the first battle to kick off this run would be Tay Roc versus Sue Surf, sitting at 3.2 million views. It's no shocker here. All these Tay Roc battles are going to be highly viewed. He's one of the most highly viewed, most popular battle rappers of all time. And this battle was definitely a grudge match at the time, which is funny when you look at it now. Gun titles, how close both gentlemen are. Free Surf, by the way, as always. So you see that, but there was a point in time, suck my dick, sucker neighborhood, and all that, craziness was going on, and at the audience, little light grudge match like that, and just another person that on Roc's Ascension he had to see. It's like he was tracking down every single top tier, which is probably the coolest part of this run, just the schedule that he had back to back to back to back to back. But he starts off the first round here, and this is just one of the most iconic, it's hard to say one of the most iconic because Tay Roc has so many iconic rounds that everyone remembers. But his first versus Surf is definitely his round of this battle that he walked away with, his highlight round. And he just raps well. That's one thing that I think separates him in this battle, because I think Surf is actually a better rapper than Tay Roc, but I think Tay Roc out-rapped him a little bit on the flow and cadence side this battle, had more energy as well, and that comes from being, more hungry, being the up-and-comer at the time. Or not the up-and-comer, but the guy who's being given a shot to. But he's a good pocket to start. He is a bar and a maniac and a matey. I'll tell you one thing. Great year from Roc here. The reaching was a problem in 2015. There's a few bars we'll mention in this battle that are like that, but this is what the 4 give you. I like that. And then the iconic, everyone knows the major haymaker here. Ram on the wheel like the Dodge emblem.
Target him, bullet hit the glass, leave the car spinning. No dodge in him. Your head ram on a steering wheel like the Dodge emblem. 2 9s. Nina, Nikki, you can.
That's crazy. Nina, Nikki, you can Minaj with them. Even had a fantastic four scheme. Have you and your flag hanging over the balcony like I'm proud to be an American. I mean, this is really great, great, great Tay Roc round. And Surf has an okay first in response, but me personally, I've never been the biggest fan of this battle. Rewatching it for this video, it is better than I've given it credit for a couple other times on this channel. I've said I hated the battle. I can't say that. You know, it's a solid, debatable battle, but Surf's first just lacks energy. The Jupiter, y'all just planted and gas Rock up, like little witty lines like that. Chopper's out like Welvin. Art of War, he can't Sun Tzu. Cool, you know, it was cool, but it was clear Rock 1-0. Then going into the second, the reaching, I mean, I'm talking Heisman Trophy pose from Rock here in the second. Couple cool bars to start as well, though. Switch sides like I jump ship. He has a soda scheme in there. Bullet with Sun Kiss. They'll have the Doctor Suez Cap. You know, you know what I'm saying? Chinese food, as soon as I see soy sauce. A little bit of stuff like that. That was kind of crazy. And Surf has his best round of the second. The Chinese food rebuttaling Surf, you know what I'm saying? It was actually probably one of the better Surf rebuttals. You got a lot of guns in your rounds. I got a lot of rounds in my guns. The Bull scheme, Chopper, name it Freddy. He gonna get 50 Shades of Grey. It was a clear 1-1. Both of them swapping the rounds going into the third. And then as you get into the third, here's where it's just super duper debatable. No need to quote too many bars either way. Surf has the state scheme, Wichita in there, sauteed bar, and Rock has the I'm in your neighborhood, you know, the flip of the original moment from The Grudge, as well as an Old Bay and a good 187 bar. I'm in Be More, start a riot now. Very, very debatable. So I'm really not mad. It's always been the thing in the third here. It could go either way. I preferred Rock's aggression and flow. While I think Surf outrode him a little in the third, I think Rock just seemed like he wanted it more, and kind of crazy enough, outperformed Sue Surf. So I edged Rock 2-1, an extremely debatable battle on Gnome for the first battle of this 2015 run. So to follow up, you know, a heavyweight matchup like that, Tay Roc gives what could be considered his first shot, giving out a shot, where he battled Briz Rothstein, a young Briz Rothstein, career-wise, on the redemption card, a little in-between card that URL did, same card that I believe Rex and Danny Myers headlined, and it has 2.5 million views. And definitely giving a shot. You know, Briz was coming off a Verb battle he truly didn't do that good in. I think people forget about that. That Verb beat Briz on Rookies versus Vets, and it wasn't a very good Briz performance. So for here, you know, Rock definitely doubling back and giving Briz a shot later. You know what I'm saying? They piece it up. They become part of Cave Gang together for a little bit. But Rock starts out first and has an incredible credit. They talk about Rock being the king of the seconds around this time, but a lot of great first rounds you see here in 2015. As soon as they give me the cue, I'm going to make the cut. He had a great audition, fire. It don't matter, we're rawhide. He had a rawhide bar that hit crazy. Then, probably, in my opinion, maybe his best bar of this battle, Smack with the Dark Side, which was a haymaker.
This cattle whip out the cow. Watch rawhide. Your soft squatter get hog-tied, nigga. You see my palms? That's light, but you'll get smacked with the dark side.
Great bar. Thinking out loud, that your bitch eating wood, I know that term might offend you, and then the iconic Summer Madness call out. Summer Madness coming, we all know how that goes. I would clip that, just too long to put in here, not trying to get hit for a copyright strike, but we all know how, you know, what all the names that he named, and to battle all of them except for Conceited, who now is possibly coming back to battle rap. Would love to see him versus Rum first, but battling both of them would be, the ideal scenario. But regardless, great, iconic first round from Rock, and it just completely washes out Briz's first. Even his one strap over the shoulder, I'm Andre the Giant, split Rock in the ring like I'm Diamond Dallas Page. Like, these are good bars, some of the better Briz bars in his career. But the first is just still a wash. Even though he was able to make it close, it's still comfy. So Rock won the first, 1-0 clear. And then you get into the second. Rock has a pretty good second. The Forrest Gump, the Sig AR ain't made by Dutch Masters, the Bundle and Chinks, the Rotisserie Chicken haymaker that he has. I'll have both them bitches spinning like rotisserie chicken. Crazy. And Briz has a crazy second in response. This battle's low-key on the playback, man. It's one of the best battles in Roc's catalog, back and forth. And I didn't remember it that way, as many of you probably didn't. Brizz's second, though, is incredible. What's Roc to a dope injection? Clip long as a freeze pop. You could still see the numbers on the arm like a Holocaust survivor. God damn. Smack out your teeth and make me an African necklace. You know, the way that Briz performs everything out. So this is all hitting, crazy. And I'll air a Smith if Roc walked this way. Man, it's crazy. I actually had Briz kind of clearly taking the second, but both of these rounds are high quality material. If you're watching, I very much so encourage you, if you need a battle to rewatch, man, go rewatch Tay Roc versus Briz Rothstein in your free time. Just a real great one on the rewatch for me. And then this comes down to the third, which is probably a step down for, I think, both of them. I know a lot of people like Briz's third, but I thought it got a little bit indirect with it. Not indirect, but I didn't think the real talk was always hitting. It's good career talk, but a little bit vague at times. So Roc is an okay rebuttal to start. Obama, there won't be one miss shell in there. Miss shell, dope, the rabies bar. He just has a straight disrespect portion of his round. It's pretty standard Tay Roc there, the flick of the wrist bar to end his third. And Briz, as I said, he's doing the real talk. And that's really, so if you really prefer that, you could. He also has a hard stumble in his third, borderlining on the choke there, you know what I'm saying? So for that, I have to give a comfortable edge to Roc in the third. So I do have Roc winning 2-1, pretty clear over Briz. This battle is damn near classic, and just goes to show that even though it's two debatables, Roc is going in there and giving you some of the best replay value there was to have in 2015. So to follow up the battle with Briz Rothstein, then he would go on to Summer Madness. We all know that Tay Roc, one of the most often appeared people on Summer Madness, second all-time, where he battled the guy who is known for first all-time in appearance in Summer Madness history, where we had Tay Roc versus Calico on Summer Madness 5, sitting right now at about 2.9 million views, should be breaking off to 3 soon, which I don't even know how many 3 million views battles Tay Roc has. I assure you it's probably some of the most in history, as is most things when we talk statistics with Tay Roc. And this battle I've went over a lot. For those of you that don't know, I did the Summer Madness battle record for both of these gentlemen, and where I've went over the battle, so you can go back there if you want to check. So I will keep the quotes a little bit more brief here and go over just, my winner. Probably just one of the smaller portions I do. But Roc in the first round has the DEAR at the top, like a love letter, which is dope. And really is jabbing at a consistent rate versus Cal, but the difference here is the energy. This is where we talk about iconic Tay Roc seconds, because in the first, I'm not going to say it's like he just pop flied it, but due to his lack of energy, you just know there's another gear he can hit into. While Cal comes out with by far his best round of the battle, one of the best rounds from Calico in Summer Madness, his Summer Madness repertoire. Jumanji, make one wrong roll and them animals appear, really just pushing Roc all around the stage. Bruce Wayne, bat, they going to have him flying through the cave. So we all know iconic. Cal took the first clear, but this is where legends are made, you know what I'm saying? It sounds a little, cliche to say it, but when you look at Tay Roc's career now, even retrospectively from 2022, when he's still amazing, we'll get into that towards the end of the video, but you look back at this, we can literally say, oh yeah, that was an all-time great moment. A lot of people are like, oh, that's when we knew. His second round, I am not Pat Stay. R.I.P. Pat Stay, man. We love you. We miss you as always. And the bump him back rebuttal. The breakfast scheme, which granted, it's a breakfast scheme. It's pretty much the only one, though, where I'm allowing Wah fool around and this and that. Like, I know there's a lot of those bars that are OBC, but at the time, it wasn't that OBC. It's probably the most, in-depth breakfast scheme, if that means anything. Definitely hit in 2015. And I think age is pretty good. Where were the bitches? So he has comedy, performance, and then you get into some of the best haymakers of the second, which is 12 gauge, look like I snacked the trunk off an elephant, and as we all know, antonyms and synonyms.
Think he tough because he bullied a white boy that eats steroids like they M&Ms? Hey, you know about antonyms and synonyms? Well, if I catch an antonym, guess what I'm sending them? Shit like that.
Just too good. Clearly took the second from Cal in comeback fashion. Very similar to how Swamp recently took the second in comeback fashion from Tay Roc. So it's cool to see guys, climbing that ladder, greatness happening in similar ways as the years go on. Just a cool comparison to me. And then you get into the third, super competitive third. Tay Roc has the Fahrenheit bar and takes a pretty real talk approach. And Cal does the same thing, a lot of real talk approach in the third. It's very much so about the flow as opposed to, just attacking Tay Roc directly. But for me, something I've always said, very, very debatable, that cannot be mad at Roc 2-1 over Cal, but I've always personally edged Cal the third in a classic, certified classic debatable battle. I didn't consider Surf and Roc a classic, not me personally. I think him and Briz on the borderline, but maybe lack some of the impact, that's neat, maybe. But for me, I think Roc and Cal is just that, definitive. That is a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best battles in both of their catalogs. So although I edge Cal 2-1, we talk about replay value, all of these that are incredible opponents, highly impactful moments and rounds that, blew up Tay Roc's career. And just overall, the impact is undeniable so far from Tay Roc's 2015. And then that leads us to the last battle of Roc 2015. Back when battlers didn't battle as often, so, it's kind of crazy to see Roc battling, 10 plus times, now in 2022. But this is really just a 4-battle year, so super impactful within those 4 battles, as we can all see. And the 4th battle, to me, is probably the worst of the bunch, and not even bad. We'll get into, what I'm saying, it's a W, in my opinion, for the man, a clear one. But Tay Roc versus John Dodon, sitting at 1.9 million views on the Perfect Day to Die card. Chilla versus Saga also went down on that card. Just another notable battle. Clips versus Suge also went down on that card. So another in-between card similar to Redemption for URL. And what you see here is one of the more dominant performances, but also material-wise, just being one of the less, just not that great Rocs. This battle isn't the craziest battle, probably here to watch. But Roc starts out, he has the Pegasus bar, good Mount Everest bar. He has a Nature Boy Ric Flair bar here in the first. Nothing too crazy. While John responds with a pretty meh round himself for the first. He has an Arm & Hammer bar, which Roc had an Arm & Hammer bar, very similar versus Surf. Obviously, I'm not going into the John Steels thing, which was actually humongous at this time. But it just goes to show John just has, I think it's just a repeated OBC issue. I really don't think it's bites. Sometimes it is, because then he leaned into flipping stuff, but just says a lot of stuff that's But he is the scammer. My pieces hitting, which was dope. They would have hurt their business if they saw Clip Smoke rocking that Tobacco Lounge, which was actually a haymaker. Really the only haymaker either of them had in the first. So for that, it's debatable. I think Roc's round just has more front-to-back consistency, even though it doesn't have the peak of the one bar that John has. So it's a debatable round, but I personally edge Roc. And the second and third here, Roc clearly wins this battle, but not by doing anything too great. His second's probably his best round. The Drake, he is a bar, going over the Drake-Diddy fight, which had happened, I believe, around that time. So that was dope. They call me Sir Roc because my crown royal.
Kill, my niggas run down on you. If you ain't got your pound on you, they gon' pound on you, face swollen, looking like you gained a couple pounds on you. Don't call me Tay. Call me Sir Roc, not Crown Royal. Who down for you?
Probably his best bar of the battle. Watch Roc slide down like an avalanche. Great pure rapping. God will be there. Your last battle will be for your life, and God will be there to stop the time. So pretty, really good Tay Roc second. John's second is not very good. He has I only have glasses, so I don't got to use a scope. And outside of that, I'll let you guys go back to rewatch that round if you'd like. But just not great penmanship performance, nothing. Crowd at this time, too, all throughout 2014, 2015, is very on Tay Roc's side. There's no question about that. But he's rapping amazingly. There's a reason they're on his side, and your material just wasn't that good in the second either. And then you get into the third, and he has some Mortal Kombat bars, which always hit, doesn't really matter what year. Sonya Blade bar, parachute, skydive, little rhyme pocket, pop up like a secret shopper, calls out NWX, which is probably the best part of his round, not really directed to John, but entertaining nonetheless. And people get stitches thinking it's a game. And as for John, he has a cool third. He had a violated parole back to bars bar, which was terrible. And he had a failed rebuttal. Angle didn't really, he hit a couple punches towards the end of his third, but overall, just second and third was just not great John round. So I had Tay Roc winning this battle 3-0, first being debatable. But even in the worst battle of his 2015, where I'm telling you he wasn't that great, there's not much replay value, he's getting a seemingly a pretty easy 3-0 over John Dodon, a very respectable top tier at that. So just goes to show, you could argue the man was undefeated. He was either having classics or winning clear, and that is the last battle that wraps up Tay Roc's iconic 2015. And that is my full, breakdown of the golden year, Tay Roc's 2015 year, where I believe, we could have damn near pencil him in as champion of the year of that year if, we could ever go back retrospectively. And quite frankly, he was moving. He had the energy. Like, this man is probably the best battle rapper alive right now. You see it in the motivation really more than anything, which he's always been motivated. But even now, there's a difference between keeping your spot motivated, which he still, finds that in himself to be great, and just that first climb when a guy first makes it to the top and trying to prove, like, they haven't called me the best in the world before, and I'm going to show them why I'm that. So it's just special to watch. And as we talked about here when we talk results, no clear losses. There will be people that would have Cal or Surf beating him, and I understand that. But I don't, they're extremely debatable battles, one of them being really an all-time classic, one of the best battles in Summer Madness history, one of my personal top 5 battles in Summer Madness history. I've done a video on that topic. But if you look at all the criteria that even goes into COTY, impact, the SMs, the gnomes, we talked about it here. We talk about moments. You look at I'm Not Pat Stay, the bump back. That is most definitely a moment. The quotable of the ram on the steering wheel, like the Dodge emblem, most definitely a moment. The call out, what I'm saying? Moments all over the place. Material, there's not much to debate there. Besides a bit of a reaching issue we had in 2015, which obviously within the next few years he cleaned up. There was a lot of reaching going on around those times too. He was definitely an egregious offender. There's no doubt about it. But there's still so much great material there, great haymakers, great pure rapper. Performance was on 100. We talked about the motivation. That goes into it. Consistency. No chokes in here. We know Tay Roc is one of the most cleansely battle rappers of all time. He does have a couple rematch versus Suge, Pat Stay, but in a near 50-plus battle career, you know what I'm saying? That's very, very, very minimal. And then, so that is impact, moments, material. Oh, lastly, and probably most importantly, in my opinion, strength of schedule. This is a hell year right here, man. These are all top-tier opponents, except for Briz at the time, who wasn't considered top-tier, but one of the biggest prospects, and we know what Briz, obviously, looking back, came out to be as a battler. So to show what was clear, a body bag level of separation at time to some people, which was kind of ridiculous, but to show kind of clear separation versus one of the better rooks too. There's variety in here. There's iconic matchups in here versus the Calicos, the Sioux Surfs, two of, in my opinion, the top 10 battle rappers of all time. So he just covers everything here. And when you think what year best describes Tay Roc, like just his prime, you would either think probably 2015 or, 2016. So that's all my reasoning for why, I love Tay Roc's 2015. It's my personal favorite year. In my opinion, it's his prime year. It's his golden year. And that's why we did the video on it, man. But let me know down below in the comments, what do you guys think about Tay Roc's year? I know Danger Zone had a great year that year too. So do you think he would have had competition in 2015? Might do a retrospective video on that one day. Who knows? But just let me know your feelings on the year. What's your favorite part of Tay Roc's 2015? And if you think there's a year in his career that's better than that better represents him. But thank you, Roc. You know what I'm saying? As all battlers, when I do these golden year reviews, it's, to give flowers. So thank you for your contributions to the culture, man. And it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.